American Express. All you have to do is call up, and any one of our operators here will take the information they need, and you can become a member of Channel 6 that easily. Deepak Chopra is quite a spiritual person. I'm sure you're all enjoying this. Like I said, we are going to be moving on to this Tibetan Book of the Dead. A little more spirituality for the evening. Right now, I'm going to move on to Mason, who has some more information for you.
Michael, thank you. You know, it's a special night here at Channel 6 because previous members here that have joined in months and years ago have pledged an additional $175,000 tonight. This money will be matched. Every one of your pledges tonight will be matched dollar for dollar. This means if you pledge at the $120 level, that's $240 that is given to Channel 6. You're seeing some of the names of our members who have given that extra challenge to you tonight. So please pick up the phone, 623-6666. We're aiming for 50 new members tonight. We're almost there. We hope you will be the one that takes us over that 50. People like Nolan pledging it on his MasterCard, a $200 level tonight. Father Richard, thank you for your pledge tonight at the $40 level. And also we want to thank John and Angie for their pledge tonight. You know, we'll be getting into the Tibetan Book of the Death coming up here in just a moment. It's easy to become a member to continue bringing you these type of programs. If you'd like to pay monthly, we will send out an envelope to you. A quick reminder, every month you can put a check in the mail and send it off to us, and it is one of those important elements that helps us bring you this type of programming. We can become an Instant member. You can become an Instant member by putting it on your Visa, your MasterCard, Discover, or Diners Club. In fact, I was just listening to one of the phone bank volunteers here tonight from my staff at KHOW who said, yes, indeed, we do take American Express. We're close to our goal. We're trying to reach 50 of you tonight, 50 new members. It's TV worth watching. This is the type of TV you want to see. You've told us that, and that's why these pledges are so important tonight. There are many incentives to become members tonight, and I'm sure Kim DeVille has some more ideas for that. Kim?
Thanks a lot, Mason. You know, Mason and I have been old friends, and we have a few new friends we'd like to thank. We'd like to thank Lynn in Denver for her new membership, Brenda in Denver, also Mimi in Basalt, Colorado. John in Arvada has pledged his support, as has Roger in Golden, Colorado, and Pat in Frisco has also pledged support, and so has Cynthia in Eugene, Oregon. Thank you very much for calling all the way from Eugene, and we appreciate that you have taken the time to support programming like you're seeing here on Channel 6. When you do call in and pledge your support, you can join at many different membership levels. You have to choose the one that's right for you. If you do choose to join us at the $120 level or higher, you'll receive a couple of thank you gifts from Channel 6. You'll receive a membership kit. That membership kit includes a membership book, a coupon, a lapel pin. You'll also receive Promo Magazine every single month. You'll also receive a coffee mug from Channel 6 and 2 audio cassettes from the program you've just watched, Body, Mind, and Soul. So that way you can listen to Dr. Chopra in your car or at home, or you can even give it as a gift to some friends. Now let's go down to Rick.
Kim, thank you. It's thoughtful television, isn't it? It's not the kind of television you can watch and read the newspaper at the same time and maybe have a telephone conversation, or you miss too much. In fact, most people who have watched Body, Mind, and Soul have turned around and said, gosh, I'd like to see it again right away, and we have a way for you to do that. This is not something that's so superficial. You can understand it completely the first time through. People say, I want to pause, I want to back up, I want to run that again. I want to stop here and think about this for a few minutes before I proceed. And we have a way for you to do that. If you'll go and pledge that $200 level right now, the videotapes will be yours. Both videotapes, both sections of this magnificent program. At $120 is the audio tape, and you can have those in your car and listen on the way to and from work and on the commute, and listen to this over and over. There's a great deal of understanding to be gleaned from this material, more than you can get on the first time through. Michael?
Thank you. We have quite a lot of new members here. We'd like to thank you all for becoming members. I'll just point out a few of them. Here we have a Bill from Golden, Colorado, who has joined, and Ms. Faith Fuller from Sedonia, Arizona. I hope I pronounced that right. I think it does have an N on it, Sedonia, Arizona. I would like to remind you about the $300 membership kit you can get. For $300 or more, we give you the basic membership kit, the classic Channel 6 coffee mug, the videotape of Body, Mind, and Soul, Deepak Chopra's landmark videotape, and the book, 7 Spiritual Laws, his newest book. Be the first on your block to find out just what he's talking about. I think Rick right now has a few more things to add.
Okay. Thank you very much. Coming up in just a moment now, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Stay tuned for that, and don't forget to tune in Wednesday evening for Deepak Chopra's new program, The 7 Laws of Spiritual Success. Michael told you about a couple of those, and I know it's a program that you're going to want to watch. Stay tuned all week long as we bring you our winter membership drive specials on your public television station, Channel 6. It's what we do, and we do it with your support, so give us a call.
Channel 6 thanks Peaberry Coffee for providing all our volunteers and staff with fresh ground, piping hot gourmet coffee each night of the membership festival. Peaberry Coffee is located at 4781 Elati Street in Denver. Thank you, Peaberry Coffee, for your generous support of Colorado's award-winning Channel 6.
Death is real. It comes without warning, and it cannot be escaped. Though teachings on death and dying are no longer common in the West, they remain a part of daily life in the Buddhist cultures of the Himalayas. The kingdom of Ladakh, once considered Western Tibet, is now administered by the Indian government. It is located 3,700 meters above sea level on the borders of China and Pakistan. Because it lies in a politically sensitive area, foreigners were forbidden to visit there until 1974. As a result, the culture of Ladakh is still relatively unchanged. Every New Year's, the people of Leh, the principal city of Ladakh, make a pilgrimage in which they offer prostrations, an ancient Buddhist practice. By making prostrations to the Buddha, his teachings, and the community of his followers, they pray that all who suffer in this world may find refuge in abiding peace. According to the Buddhist teachings, Buddhahood, or unchanging wakefulness, is at the heart of every living being. This basic awareness is the essence of life. It is beyond birth and death, but to be born leads inevitably to the sufferings of sickness, old age, and death. Compassion for everything that lives is the basis of a path through this life and to our death. The belief in reincarnation is an expression of that compassion. Buddhism was brought to Tibet in the Himalayas 1,300 years ago by the great Indian saint Padmasambhava. It was he who wrote the Tibetan Book of the Dead. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is a guide for the dying. It describes the process of dying as a natural transition. The text explains how, by recognizing the mental states and physical sufferings involved, we can come into contact with our own essential nature. In this way, it is possible to find freedom from confusion and fear. In a small village near the headwaters of the Indus River, an old man, Palden Sering, has died. The women of the family have gathered in the kitchen where they improvise laments to his memory. Whenever he would smile at me, I was never so happy. Now that he's gone, I have never been so miserable. The family has requested Chozan, a Nakpa, or Buddhist yogi, and a resident of the village who often performs these rites, to come and read the text and to make the appropriate offerings. When someone dies, the Bardo Total, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, is read every day for 49 days. According to this text, the consciousness of the dead person lingers between one life and another for a period of 49 days. During that time, he is capable of hearing, so the text is read aloud to encourage and guide him. At first, the text is read in the presence of the body. Kept carefully wrapped, this text, like most traditional Tibetan books, consists of unbound pages held between two boards and has been printed from hand-carved wood blocks. O son of noble family, that which is called death has now arrived. Now, for the benefit of all beings, recognize the luminosity which dawns before you. This great blazing mass of light is enlightenment itself. It is the natural mind. It is the essence of your own mind. Recognition and liberation are simultaneous. The Book of the Dead describes how at death the consciousness is suddenly separated from all the circumstances which made up daily life. Mind experiences its own liberation directly as radiant, pure white light. Both life and death, according to the Bardo Total, are a continuous flow of uncertain transitions called bardos. In the bardos of death, if mind does not recognize its own nature, it becomes ever more solid until it enters a new form of life. O son of noble family, now is the time for you to seek a path. You are not alone in leaving this world. Everyone who has come before you has died. You can no longer stay here. Now you should think like this. Now I will abandon clinging to this body and to this world. I will go forward. I will abandon fear and terror. And I will recognize whatever appears as a projection of my own mind. Chozan uses an old astrological calendar to fix the day of Palden Sering's cremation, making calculations based on the dates of the dead man's birth and death. He determines that the cremation should take place 10 days later. It shows here that Palden Sering may have been a wild pig in his past life, and that he may be a bird in his next one. But perhaps if he takes the Bardo Total to heart, he will return to the human realm. At the beginning of this century, W.Y. Evans Wentz, an American who studied anthropology at Oxford, became interested in reincarnation. He traveled to India where he found a copy of the Bardo Total and sponsored the translation from Tibetan and edited the text into English. It was he who titled it the Tibetan Book of the Dead. The renowned Swiss psychologist Carl Jung wrote that he had found in this book his life's partner who had revealed the secrets of the soul. The Living Dying Project in San Francisco has been assisting terminally ill patients for more than 20 years. The project's aim is to help dying people find meaning in the transition between life and death.
The project was created because the metaphors, the storyline that existed in our culture for dying, in which death was seen as a failure and the enemy and an error of the universe somehow, and therefore the hospital intensive care ward was the ultimate inner chamber of the temple about life. And the whole fear that surrounded the process of doctors seeing death as a failure, for example, we felt there was the need for another metaphorical system.
So please begin by picturing in front of you your client or some other person you know who is suffering right now. And feel in an open and direct way how this person actually is suffering. Feel the quality of it.
The Dying Project was created in order to create an environment in which people that were deep in philosophical materialism could explore another metaphor for life and thus for death. And the people we found most willing to do that were people that were themselves facing death.
What do you think is going to happen when you die?
This hospice serves people who are expected to die within 6 months.
Most people don't talk about death, you know.
Would you like to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. Do you want to tell me what you know?
Well, you know, I would, and I obviously haven't died myself lately.
No.
But let me give you what I know, and maybe it'll be useful. Consciousness leaves the body, and consciousness experiences a feeling of integrity and wholeness and safeness, and then it's attracted toward what is universally described as a very beautiful, incredibly beautiful, clear, bright light. It's never described as a beautiful sound or beautiful smell, but it's a very beautiful light. The reason this light is so beautiful is that this light is your true nature.
That would be very nice. That's fascinating. So you've actually been there with people that come back and tell you?
From near-death experiences, and there are people in certain traditions, like for instance in Tibetan Buddhism, who are trained to go into that after-death state with people and guide them. There are actual guidebooks to help people go through this journey, if you will.
Tokeden Rinpoche is an abbot from the monastery at Ladakh. He is making this visit in order to bless the people of the village, to teach, and to see how they are faring. Tokeden Rinpoche is also giving teachings on Poa. This is a method unique to the Tibetan Buddhist tradition for assisting the consciousness to release its attachment to the physical body at the time of death. This is Stanjin. He is 96 years old and has lived according to the Buddhist path for all his adult life. He has a deep interest in these teachings. First, visualize the form of the Buddha of boundless light, Amateus, above your head. Let your consciousness rise upward through your abdomen, upward through your body, up through your neck, and finally out the top of your head. Dissolve there into the light around you. In this way, you may enter directly the pure realm of light. The uncertainties of the bardo will not affect you. While in the village, Tokuden Rinpoche also goes to do the Poa ceremony for Palden Tsering. He makes offerings of barley and butter and anoints Palden Tsering's head. Palden Tsering, you have died. The light of this world is fading completely. And the light of the next world has not yet appeared. Your body has lost all feeling. This is what death is. Let yourself go. With more offerings of barley and butter, he invokes the blessings of all the Buddhas and all the awakened ones. The blood on the head gives an indication that the ceremony has gone well. If there is some sign that the dead man's consciousness has left the body from a place on the head, then that's a good thing. It means that the consciousness has not been obstructed as it left the body completely. Offerings are left out to encourage Palden Tsering. Be nourished. by our offerings, Palden Sereng.
Sunchen tam jetitun, sunchen tam jetitun doa. Vama lashka sunche sange nangya chotang del yindu nangya. Sange chumban del la chakta sange shakta tuval. Angrimbo tenangdel.
Every day, Stangen offers 100 prostrations with these words. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. By praying in this way, Stangen invokes the wisdom of the Buddha, his teachings, and the community of his followers to help all beings find liberation from suffering. He feels he has accomplished all that he can in this lifetime. He has lived to see his family secure and well, and his last wish now is to die soon. Are you afraid of death? No, everyone must die someday. Everyone is born with the weight of death on their shoulders. I haven't done anything bad, so I'm not afraid to die. What happens after death? Above are human beings. Below is hell. It's our destiny to die. Why aren't you afraid? Because we'll be reborn. This child is the reincarnation of someone. Everyone is reincarnated. What was this child's previous life? That I don't know. Even though the physical body dies, consciousness continues. It is a constant repetition of life and death. That's why people are reborn. Stangen was born at the end of the last century. It was all he could do just to survive the harsh winters. As a child, he had no blanket, so he slept covered in loose chicken feathers. For food, he caught wild birds and animals in the mountain. The only money in his village came from the sale of handicrafts to the caravans which traveled to China. Some of my life was very hard, but I have always practiced the Buddha's teachings. When I say the mantra with this prayer wheel, it is to express my wish that all beings in the lower realms, the animals and hungry ghosts, beings in hell, all find liberation. No matter what happens now, for myself, I have no regrets.
One of the things they wanted me to do today, and let me ask you if this is something that seems appropriate to you, was to read a little bit of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which traditionally is read to people so they can become familiar with these ideas.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'll read it one day.
Listen to what I am saying, Bruce. Death is now come, and you are departing from this world, but you are not the only one, as death comes to all people on earth. Be willing to release any connections with the life you have been living, and release the people with whom you have associated. Whatever fear or terror that might come to you during the experiencing of the reality of your mind, keep these thoughts in your consciousness and go forward. Recognize that any mental image, pictures which occur are of your own creation. Maintain that recognition and you will achieve liberation.
Hi, welcome to our studios here at Channel 6. We're broadcasting live from Denver. I'm Michael Spencer. I do want to thank you for joining us this evening watching this very spiritual program, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And also to let you know, you're not alone. There are people all over North America who are watching this program right now. I had occasion just a few months ago to be shooting in Northern California in Silicon Valley, and I was speaking with somebody there who watched us, who watched Channel 6 from a satellite dish in the mountains. So if you're watching, hi. And for the rest of you, it's now time for you to call in, give us your pledge, let us know how much you care about this kind of programming. We're watching the Tibetan Book of the Dead. That doesn't mean you have to be dead to watch it. And in fact, we'd like you to show just how lively you are by calling in with your pledge breaks. Helping us now is, on the phones, is KHOW. KHOW, as you know, is a radio station, and so it just proves that medias can mix and get along just fine. Now, we have a particular challenge for all of you out here tonight, and that is we are seeking 100 new members. 100. 100 really isn't that much. And as a matter of fact, what we're concerned about now is one new member, and that new member is you. Forget about those other 99 members. We're concerned about you right now. If you can call in, and as a matter of fact, tell your friends to join. I mean, we're interested in you, we're interested in your friends. This is a good opportunity to show that you're interested in programming like this here on Channel 6. And to tell you a little bit more about it is Rick Hicks.
Thank you, Michael. This is risky programming, isn't it? Who would have thought we would enjoy sitting down on Sunday evening and watching a program on death and dying? Public television exists to take risks. We don't have to do things that commercial advertisers feel will be a sure way to attract the maximum number of eyes to their commercial messages. We can take risks. We can bring you thoughtful programming like this because we don't depend on commercial advertisers. We depend on you. And right now, we are hoping that you will respond to our risk-taking by voting for programming like this, by voting for intellectually stimulating, spiritually uplifting, soulfully informing programming like the Tibetan Book of the Dead that you're seeing right now. When you call right now and express your commitment to the station at the $40 level, you'll be receiving the station's membership card, a coupon book with hundreds of dollars of values in it, a lapel pin, which you'll be proud to wear. And of course, all through 1996, you'll be receiving Promo Magazine, our monthly program guide. You see the December issue on your screen. We're very proud of the new issue of Promo Magazine at the $60 level. All of that, plus our great Channel 6 coffee mug, which you see there in the collection. And at $120, that's just the equivalent of $10 a month, about the price of a daily newspaper delivered to your home. You'll receive the membership kit, the coffee mug, and your own copy of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. A reference for you if this is stimulating your imagination, if this is stimulating you intellectually or spiritually and you'd like to know more about it. What a greater gift we could offer you, I don't know, than the Tibetan Book of the Dead, so that you have it as a reference to refer back to. You've watched this program, and certainly it's giving you more to think about than you can think about in one setting. So our thank you gift to you at the $120 level is that Tibetan Book of the Dead. Use your Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Diners Club card, or American Express. Become an instant member and enjoy watching the program even more, knowing that you've done your part. Here's someone who's done her part for PBS and for Channel 6 for quite a while now. Here's Margaret Cunningham.
I'm so glad he didn't tell you how long I've been doing my part for public television and Channel 6. But I want to just talk to you a minute about the fact that there is absolutely no question that we learn from television. The question is what we learn from television. And think of what public broadcasting has found out there in the great world that we live in the great universe that we live in, and brought to you. And this program is a wonderful example that you can sit at home and watch the Tibetan Book of the Dead and see how your religion or your beliefs may interact with this, or it may cause you to re-examine something, but it causes your mind to expand, and that's what we do the very best, and we're very proud to do that. There are so many ways that you can join this station. We want to make it as easy as possible. Call this great phone bank from KHOW. They gave up their Sunday evening. I gave up my Sunday evening. We're all volunteers. We want you to do it and to become a volunteer in the simplest way by simply going to that phone and casting a vote for this program, because people are going to talk about this program tomorrow at work, or perhaps when you gather for coffee after work, or whatever it is that you do in your spare time, and you're going to say, see that program, I helped pay for it because I believe in my public television station, and I was nagged enough last night to go to the phone and invest in my public television station. And that's just exactly what this is. It's an investment. The money that you put into this station comes back to you in multiples throughout the year, and our box office is open right now. So if you call up, talk to this great group from KHOW, we'll send you a remittance envelope, but the very simplest way is to charge it. And again, we take the cards, the Visa, the MasterCard, Discover, Diners Club, American Express. We want to make it as simple as possible so that you'll have that satisfaction. You'll have that tax deduction, for instance, when you're thinking of us next April. You can say, now I'm really glad that I did that, because this station is my station, and it is my responsibility to make sure that it continues to do the kind of programming that I've come to expect. Right now, let's go up to another person who's come in from another media to volunteer for Channel 6. Let's go up to Mason. Mason?
Thanks, Margaret. You know, our goal this break is 100 new members. We are close to that membership goal, but it's very important that you pick up the phone and call right now. You may not have had an opportunity to do this before. Maybe you've been watching the wonderful quality programming here on Channel 6 and have never picked up the phone. Now is a good time to do that. 623-6666. People like William calling from Steamboat Springs, thank you for your pledge tonight. Also, Robert in Boulder and Paul in Denver, thank you for becoming members here tonight. At the $120 level, you can join us with a membership kit. We'll send you off the coffee mug, and we'll also send you this wonderful book, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. This is the pretty much the book version of the program you're watching here tonight. Stephen from Leavenworth, Kansas, thanks for joining us tonight at the $40 level. We appreciate you joining us tonight. We're aiming for a goal of 100 people here tonight in this pledge break. Please join today. Call right now, 623-6666. We want to add you to our list of new members. And if you are joining tonight, be sure to tell a friend. Tell them to pick up the phone and become members here tonight at Channel 6. It's important for you to do that to show your support and your vote for quality programming here on Channel 6. Michael?
Thank you, Mason. Like you've been hearing all along tonight, we're looking for 100 new members. All we need right now is for you to become a $120 or more member. For that, you get the membership kit, the coffee mug, plus, and this is, I think, very special, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. $120 gives you a gateway to heaven, as it were. The $120 membership gets you the Tibetan Book of the Dead in addition to being able to watch the program here on Channel 6. This is TV worth watching. Personally, I can't think of anywhere else where you might be able to see this kind of programming uninterrupted like this. Of course, we're interrupting a little bit, but generally speaking, PBS does not interrupt their programs. You can't count on others for this. You're the one we're interested in right now. Others may help, but you're the one who makes a difference right now. Let's see what Rick has to say.
Imagine if you were the programming director at a public television station who chose the Tibetan Book of the Dead to be on the air. Would you have a little bit of anxiety right now? Would you wonder if this is the kind of program that people would be willing to call up and support? If you think this is the programming decision that should be encouraged, right now is when we need to hear from you. If we don't hear, if we don't make our goal, that's a message too. That's a message to our programming department that maybe they should take a safer road. Maybe they shouldn't take these kind of risks. We don't believe that that's the message you want us to take to the programming department. We believe that people who watch Channel 6 are people who want to see programming risks, who want to see new things and intellectually stimulating things, people who who are willing to watch things that aren't always comfortable, and they are people who are willing to invest in that kind of programming. So we hope that you'll live up to our expectations right now, as we hope we're living up to your expectations with great programming. Trudy and Bernie called from Boulder, and Irene has called from Oregon, and Richard has called from Aurora. These are people who are wanting to reward our programming department for making risky decisions, for making programming decisions that are not necessarily comfortable. We're all probably a little bit outside of our comfort zone right now with this program tonight, but it's so important for us to get outside of that comfort zone once in a while and see challenging, stimulating programming. You don't see it anywhere else but public television. And right now we want you to reward our programming department. Our goal is 100. We're up to 40 now. That means you and 59 others. We can get halfway there right now, I think. Can't we, Margaret?
Absolutely. And I want to tell you that I am so thrilled and pleased to see the response to this show, because our phones are ringing. There are a couple that are still vacant right now, so we'd like to have you call and endorse this kind of programming. And I want to tell you that Ann's called in from Denver, and we thank you for your support. James has called in from East Sound, Washington. He says appreciates this type of programming very much. Lynn from Wheat Ridge, Albert from Frisco, and we're very happy to have you be part of our family. And again, if you're outside of the area where you get our newspaper, you need to be a member so that you get our program guide. If you want this kind of programming to continue, we're going back right now to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, but you help it put your money where your viewing habits are.
Thank you, Grisanti's Restaurant, for supporting Channel 6. Located at 4100 East Mexico Avenue in Denver, Grisanti has provided all our volunteers and staff with an appetizing Italian meal with all the trimmings. Thank you, Grisanti's, for your support of the best in public television, Channel 6.
Voices come alive with the extraordinary spiritual and humanistic message found in the liturgical chant of the 12th century. Join us as we discover the ancient musical phenomenon that has captivated audiences worldwide. Gregorian chant, songs of the spirit.
Tonight at 8:40.
Nine days have passed since Paldensering's death. According to the Bardo total, if the deceased has still failed to recognize his own basic nature, and if he has failed to recognize the peaceful deities as projections of his own mind, then they transform into terrifying, wrathful ones. Paldensereng listen without distraction. Now, the blood-drinking, wrathful ones will appear. Their bodies are dark red or dark blue, with 3 heads, 6 arms, and 4 legs spread wide apart. Their 9 eyes gaze into yours with a furious expression. They hold human skulls full of blood, and they roar like thunder. They are accompanied by a retinue of their own kind in many colors, and they fill the whole of space. Do not be afraid. Do not be confused. Recognize them as the projections of your own mind. Do not be afraid, for they are your innate wakefulness. If you recognize this, you will be liberated. Recognition and liberation are simultaneous. Today is the day of Paldensering's cremation. Monks have been chanting in the house with the body since early morning. Cremations in Ladakh are performed as fire offerings. In order that he may no longer cling to his former body, and so that his relatives and loved ones may release him from the bonds of their attachment to him, his body is offered to the fire. The substances that are offered with the body, butter, oil, sugar, and various grains, represent everything that is desirable, sustaining, and virtuous in this world. To complete this process, Palden Sering's possessions were donated to the monastery. The day after the cremation, the monks auctioned them off to the people of the village. Two days later, Palden Sering's sons carry his ashes up the mountain and leave them to the elements. Palden Sering, listen without distraction. The body which you had in this life is becoming indistinct to you, and the body you will have in your future life is becoming clear. As you sense this, you will become frightened and sad. There is no place for you to rest, and no stopping place in your ceaseless wandering. You do not care what your next life will bring as long as you will be born soon, and so you approach anything that appears before you. Take care, Palden Sering. Do not be afraid. Look for a good human birth, where you may yet recognize your own true nature. The 14th Dalai Lama now resides here in Dharamsala, India. He was born in 1935 and was recognized 5 years later as the incarnation of the previous Dalai Lama. As a young boy, he could recognize people who were familiar to his predecessor and select objects which he had used. After his formal recognition, he was rigorously trained and assumed full spiritual and temporal authority as leader of the Tibetan state in 1950 at the age of 15.
if you accept, if you believe, if you accept, you see, life, continuation of life, then death is just, you see, one occasion. Like, you see, they're changing when your clothes become, old, and then, you see, the old cloth, you see, throw away and take, you see, new, nice, you see, cloth. Similarly, this old body cannot function properly, then change the new body, more energetic, more fresh body.
Sokrapa was shot by an Indian policeman 11 years ago while participating in a demonstration for the improvement of labor conditions in Ladakh. 2,000 people from all over the country attended his funeral. Subsequently, the Indian government acceded to the demand for improved conditions, and Sokrapa became a national hero. We have confirmed that this boy is the reincarnation of the monk Sokrapa. All Ladakh is very happy. Sokrapa's incarnation, Zopa, is the youngest son of a poor farming family and was discovered in Sokrapa's own village. When he was born, he had a bruise on his side which did not go away for a very long time. He said that he had been hit by a bullet and it hurt him. The bruise was on the same place where Sokrapa was shot. When Zopa was 2 years old, he said he wanted to meet his aunt. But the aunt he was referring to was Sokrapa's aunt, who had raised Sokrapa as a child and had lived with him. When he visited her, Zopa was able to identify all the objects which Sokrapa had regularly used. My nephew Sokrapa was a pure-hearted, virtuous person who always thought about other people. Because he was a good man, he has found a good rebirth. When Zopa was 8 years old, the village gathered funds to send him to be trained at Sera Monastery in Mysore, India. Sera, formerly a major monastery in Tibet, gives special attention to the traditions of debate, logic, and chanting Buddhist texts. The people of Ladakh hope that Zopa will one day return to his country as a future leader. On the final day of reading the Bardo Total, the entire family gathers to pray that Palden Sering will find a fortunate birth. Palden Sering, listen without distraction. You have not recognized your own nature, and now you will once again experience all the painful uncertainties of birth and death. Give up anger, give up attachment, and give up yearning for relatives and friends. Take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. With your head held high, enter the human realm. I am very happy that we have been able to offer all these prayers and this reading to help my father. We have done all that can be done for Paulton Tsering. And all the ceremonies and readings have been done properly. I feel that Paulton Tsering has found a human birth. But I don't know in what circumstances he may have been born. The Tibetan Book of the Dead presents the states of dying and after death as a continuous possibility. We can become frozen in our attachment and fear, or we can recognize the liberation of our true nature. The Tibetan Book of the Dead shows that this opportunity is available to us in every moment of life and death.
The heavy body of flesh and blood and bones has within it this body of consciousness, this body of light. Becoming this body of light so that you can just dissolve into this sense of light. The solid body remains here, but you are becoming this pure light, dissolving into your heart, dissolving into your heart with each breath. Each time you breathe out, it's as if it were your last breath. Expanding into a larger and larger sense of spaciousness. Nothing to hold on to. Beyond the mind, beyond the body, floating free in space, totally safe. Any distraction dissolving back into the heart. Floating free. Nice.
How many tapes are you talking like this together?
I don't have any tapes. No.
Oh, I'd like to play a few times.
Something which difficult to handle. Now that, if you prepare that, you know it. Now, such is the time. I will face the terrible situation, and knowing it, and prepare for it. Then when actually you see that happen, you already accepted, you already prepare for it. So much easier to handle.
And I accept that actually. And it's not like it's an awful thing, you see. And if you can get to that point, you face death a lot. Because it's just another thing along the way. And
sometimes I also, have some kind of excited feeling towards death. Now, because, in my daily prayer, they deal with, the death process and the Partu process and next life. So therefore, when I sometimes think about death, then I got some kind of excitement. Whether really I can utilize these practice fully at that moment or no.
Stangen's great-granddaughter, who is married into a family in a distant village, comes to visit him. Grandpa, how are you? Here's my son. The child is Stanchion's great-great-grandchild. Stanchion is very happy to have his family with him. Although he wants nothing further from his life, as he says, I am always grateful for what the path of life gives to me. Today, Buddhism no longer exists in many of the countries where once it flourished. Nonetheless, in those countries where it is still practiced, it is a source of guidance and strength. And it continues to express people's aspirations for the well-being of all.
We'll be back in just a few moments with another concluding episode of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I hope you'll be there with us. I hope you'll take a chance during this intermission to help reward our programming department for making such a risky decision as to bring a program called the Tibetan Book of the Dead to our television sets. It's, as I said earlier, it's probably outside most of our comfort zones, but it is a beautiful program. It's a program of spiritual inspiration. It's a program of intellectual stimulation. It's a program of discovery and enchantment in a sense, with a new cultural point of view, a different cultural point of view. I believe this is the kind of programming that our programming department needs to be rewarded for choosing for our schedule this evening, and I hope that you will express that belief as well with a pledge in support of this program, because it's your support of programs like this that encourages our programming department, encourages the decision makers at Channel 6 to bring you more programs like this. When you call right now, you'll spend just a few seconds with one of our volunteers, and this evening they're from KHOW Radio. We very much appreciate the support of a commercial broadcasting cousin here in Denver, Colorado. And we're very gratified to know that they believe in the quality of public television on Channel 6 enough to come down and spend the evening with us, encouraging you to become a member. We asked to hear from 100 people, only 100 people who were willing to affirm the decision of our programming department by bringing this programming. We've heard from 53, so we're just over halfway there. And we can hear from 47 more people during this break, and that will meet our goal for the first half of this program. We'll have another goal in the second half. Right now is the time for you to help us meet that goal. If you tried to call in an earlier break and got a busy signal, now's the time to call back, because there are phones and volunteers available right now. Please give us a call. Michael?
Thank you, Rick. Like this show is showing us, the monks are reading the Tibetan Book of the Dead over and over again just to make sure the dead don't forget what they learned in life. We don't want you to forget about us, and so we're offering you a little incentive here to call up and become a member of Channel 6. At the $40 level, you get the basic membership kit, which is made up of a membership card, a coupon book, a very cool lapel pin, I'm wearing one right now, and the Channel 6 promo magazine. Promo magazine lets you know what we're showing, gives you a little background information about the programs. Now, if you give us a $60 check, you get the membership kit, which I mentioned earlier, plus the classic Channel 6 mug. You don't have to drink coffee in it. You can drink some sort of herb tea, something that might help you along on your spiritual journey. Now, if your wallet is feeling just a little bit fatter here at the Christmas season, and you want to give us $120 or more, we'll give you the membership kit, plus the coffee mug that I mentioned, plus the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It's in print form. That's how they disseminated information before television came around. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is something you can study. It might give you some insight into another culture if you're not a member of that group. If you are, it'll help you along the way. It's very easy to join and become a member here. As a matter of fact, it might be a little easier than reaching spiritual enlightenment. All you have to do is charge it. And we accept all kinds of cards. We accept Visa, we accept MasterCard, we accept American Express, and all kinds of other cards. And as a matter of fact, I think if you become a member at this point, it might improve your chances with karma in the next life. Margaret.
What a wonderful idea, Michael. Michael has just joined the Channel 6 staff. He's doing a 13-part series, producing a 13-part series that will be distributed throughout the country. We're very pleased to have him on our staff. And we have the very best staff here, and I think we've proved it tonight by putting this program on at prime time, this program that allows you to learn something maybe you've never thought about, to explore a different part of the world and different minds and a different way of thinking. We want you to become a part of our family so we can continue to search out and find those kinds of programs. Simplest way possible. This terrific phone bank from KHOW is here. You call up, you give your name, your address, and we'll put a remittance envelope in the mail tonight. You will have it, and you can send it right back to us. Or you can charge it on your Visa, your MasterCard, your Discover, Diners Club, American Express. However you want to do it, we can do it in installments, but we want you to be a part of our family. I want to thank Peter, who's called in from Clark Summit, Pennsylvania. We are your public television station. You need to be a member, because then you get our program guide and you become a part of our family. You know what's coming up. You can put it on your calendar and you won't miss a program like this. Our goal is 100 new members. We are at 64, so it's just you and 35 more people to go. David's called in from Longmont, Colorado. He's proud to say he's renewing his investment in Channel 6. And Tom and Kathy from Casper, Wyoming, we're very happy to have you with us here at Channel 6 in Denver, but wherever you receive us, we want you to become a part of our family. Let's go to Mason. Mason?
Margaret, you know, Rick mentioned earlier in our program about program directors making decisions to put programs like this on the air. As the program director at KHOW, I need to make decisions on what programs are important, and the only way I can do that is by hearing back from you, and that is how it is important, because with pledge drives like we do now, this is a vote of confidence. When you vote, you're picking up the phone and you're voting, you're saying, we want this type of program. And we have 35 of you to go. We are aiming for 100 new members at the $120 membership level. We will give you the membership kit, the coffee mug, and we'll also send you this wonderful book, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is the book based on this program. So it's a wonderful gift idea, or it's a perfect addition to your home collection. Many people have already joined us this time around. People like Jan at the $120 level from Boulder. Thank you, Jan. Milton in Garden City, Kansas. Someone else went to college there. Thank you for pledging tonight. Kathleen in Boulder. Thank you very much. We appreciate your pledge here tonight. We also want to thank Roger in Colorado Springs, Art in Littleton, and John in Boulder. Thank you. You're one of the members. We have 33 to go, so please pick up the phone, 623-6666. Let's join this break. Rick?
And if you get a busy signal when you call, please keep trying until you get through. It's important that we hear from you. You'll be joining a great group of people who are pledging tonight. John and Donna have called from Bishop, California. Thank you very much. Liv and Walt from Fort Collins, Colorado, and Patricia from Durango. We'd like to hear also from the Denver metropolitan area. No matter where you're watching, actually, we want to hear from you. It is you for whom these programs are presented. It's you for whom we come to work every day here at Channel 6. And it is we for whom we ask you to participate, because we can't do this by ourselves. We can get great programs, we can present great programs, but we need the investment, the vote of confidence from you, and the dollars, frankly. So take out a few dollars, metaphorically, use the plastic, and give us a call right now. Become a member of the family. Take pride in helping provide programming like this. Michael?
Thank you. You know, there's a really good reason to stay tuned. We will be hearing more from the Dalai Lama himself tonight, on tape, of course. I would like to remind you about the $120 membership. For giving us $120 to support this kind of programming, you get the basic membership kit, the coffee mug, plus your own copy of the Tibetan Book of the Dead in print. This is a very wonderful thing. If nothing else, it's a great way to start off the new year. We're looking for 100 new members here on this break. That's 99 more than what you've got in your house right now. All we're asking is for you to call, be one of those 100 members. Margaret.
Oh, let me tell you who some of those people are that have called in. And Rick, I want you to listen to this. We've got calls. David's called from Richmond, Kentucky, and charged his investment. Terry has called in from Cheyenne, Wyoming, from St. Rosa Beach in Florida. Brenda has called in. We're delighted to have you because she needs Promo Magazine. Mary has called in from White, Georgia. We're so pleased to have you respond to us. From Berkeley, California, and I think it's spelled differently, B-U-R-K-L-E-Y, so I don't think it's the university town. Dickie has called in. We're happy to have you. Marley has called in from Aurora, and she said she doesn't need Promo Magazine, but Lori has called in from Denver, and she's happy to be a part of us. James from Aurora, thank you for calling us. And Don from Boulder has charged his investment. Christopher from Denver has charged his investment. Andrea from Westminster and Charlotte from Denver, we thank you very much. And my last one here is Doris from Boulder, Colorado. We're very pleased to have you be a part of our family. You have actually endorsed this kind of programming. We're going to try to find more of it. Let's go to Mason.
You know, Margaret, the phones have been busy, very busy here, in fact, this pledge drive. So if they were busy when you called just a few moments ago, we do have some people available right now from the K-House staff that can take your pledge. We want to thank Marvin in Cheyenne, Dolores in Lone Pine, California, Pam in Aspen, thanks for joining us tonight, Don in Cheyenne, Catherine in Prairie Grove, Arkansas. There's somebody watching us on satellite. John in Marietta, Ohio, another out-of-state listener. Viewer Ann in Snowmass Village, thank you, and Suzanne in Boulder. You know, these are wonderful people that have joined us tonight, and you can join at the $120 level. We will send you off the membership kit, and plus you'll get the wonderful book, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and we're hoping that you'll join one of the 100 members here to join at Channel 6 tonight. Let's go back to Rick.
We've heard from Stephanie in Arvada and Charles from Denver, and Margaret here, CS from Minden, Louisiana. We're delighted to be hearing from you this evening, no matter where you are. We do not want to hold up this program. Please jot the number down, 623-6666, 1-800-274-6666. Give us a call during the program. We're going to go back in just a moment to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the second part of this program. We're delighted to have you with us. Maybe you know somebody who would like to be watching this program. Give them a call and tell them to tune in. But in the meantime, sit back and enjoy the program. And when we come back at the end of this program, at the intermission, we'll make our invitation again. We'll extend our invitation one more time. And we hope that you see something between now and then that will make you want to stand up and be proud to be a supporter of public television. Go ahead and Let's terminate the game of avoiding the pledge guy. Let's just go ahead and make the pledge. You'll be glad you did. You'll be glad to be a member of the Channel 6 family.
Thank you, Grisanti's Restaurant, for supporting Channel 6. Located at 4100 East Mexico Avenue in Denver, Grisanti has provided all our volunteers and staff with an appetizing Italian meal with all the trimmings. Thank you, Grisanti's, for your support of the best in public television, Channel 6.
Voices come alive with the extraordinary spiritual and humanistic message found in the liturgical chant of the 12th century. Join us as we discover the ancient musical phenomenon that has captivated audiences worldwide. Gregorian chant, songs of the spirit.
Tonight at 8:40.